Yo, what is up YouTube family? You're probably like, yo, where am I right now? We are in my home gym, as you can see. Just got this built, still not done yet, but we're in the progress of making it. But what I'm explaining to you guys today are the 3 dirty little tips that I've been using to get lean. As you can see, we've been leaning out a good bit, and I'm by no means a doctor or a medical professional, but what I'm explaining to you guys are the 3 little tips that I've used that have really helped made this cut a little bit easier. So let's get into it. Now, first things first, we have to assume 1, your diet is on point, you are in a caloric deficit, you're tracking your macros, you know what your maintenance is, and you're hitting below those calories. And I'm gonna assume that your training is actually gonna help maintain muscle, right? You're not overtraining, you're training with some kind of progressive overload scheme, and you're hitting your compound. So we're gonna assume your diet and your training are on point. So point number 1 is volume. This is really something that I underrated on previous cuts, and it's made this cut a lot easier. And don't get me wrong, when you're cutting, you're gonna be hungry, right? There's just no way around that. That is part of the game. But you can make it a little bit easier on yourself by adding tons of vegetables or volume to your meals, right? So let's say you're gonna have chicken and rice. You could add half a pound to a pound of broccoli or asparagus, cabbage, whatever it is that you want to throw in the mix there. And if you season it correctly, it's actually not too bad. But what's gonna happen is when you create these voluminous meals, it's gonna send signals to your brain when your stomach expands with all this food in it that, hey, we're satiated, we're not hungry anymore. And so this is gonna help dull down some of those cravings that you're gonna have while cutting. So adding volume to your meals has been huge. Some of my favorites are broccoli, asparagus, cauliflower rice is really good, broccoli rice is really good, carrots, onions, mushrooms. And the surprising thing is you can make a lot of this stuff taste really good. So if you're not a big vegetable person, you season these correctly, you can make your meals tasty, filling. So try that. Volume is your best friend. Point number 2 is stimulants. Now, some people are gonna say, you know, that's not good for you, coffee's bad, pre-workout's bad, yada, yada, yada. And like I said, I'm by no means a health professional, but I will say having some kind of caffeine can make the cutting process a lot easier on yourself. I just finished a cold brew about an hour ago, and I'll tell you, I feel a whole lot better finishing that. Partially it's because I have some liquid in my stomach, which again is gonna help with that filling. But also I think there is a small level of appetite blunting effect just through caffeine in itself, and it's gonna give you energy. A lot of times when you're on lower calories, you're gonna feel kind of lethargic and low energy, and this can kind of help pick you up and get you through the day, which will make a really, really big difference. So I try to stay away from pre-workout as much as possible. I'm not a big pre-workout guy. I think a lot of the pre-workouts out there are junk. There are some good ones, but as a whole, a lot of them are crap. They don't do a whole lot for me, but what I like is a coffee in the morning, and then I'll have another coffee later in the afternoon, or a cold brew like I did today, and that just gets me through the day, tastes really good, and satisfies my cravings for sweet stuff. I'll use just a little bit of half and half, and you can put like a stevia packet or some cinnamon in there if you want to make it taste a little extra good. Point number 3 is intermittent fasting. Now, a lot of guys have this belief that intermittent fasting is some magic bullet for burning fat, or it's gonna, you know, make you super duper ripped because it increases growth hormone, or all these bro facts. And the truth is, intermittent fasting is not going to do anything crazy for you, but shorten your eating window. So I'll wake up, I won't have breakfast till about 10, 10:30, 11, sometimes 12 o'clock if I really push it. And surprisingly, this becomes easy. The longer you do it, the more it becomes routine. You just wake up and you're not particularly hungry. You know, the first week or 2 were a little awkward. I'd wake up and be like, I kind of want to eat something. I was in that routine of just waking up and eating. But now that I'm in that flow, I'll wake up, go to class, have a meal after, or I'll wake up, bang out some work, and then have a meal. It's also nice because I can get my most important tasks It's also nice because I can get my most important tasks done right then in the morning. I don't have to wake up and go cook immediately. You'd be surprised how much time you waste in the kitchen. So I like intermittent fasting simply because it shortens your eating window. So what I typically do is I'll fast for about 14 to 15 hours and then eat within the rest of that window, and it works wonders for me. So I said I was gonna do just 3 points, but I'm gonna eke in like a half a point. And this is one that's personal, but you can try it yourself. This is having your very first meal, whether you're doing intermittent fasting or not, be mainly protein and fat. I've noticed if I get a big insulin spike from having a big carb meal in the morning, my hunger feels out of control during the day. So I like starting my first meal with something that's really high in fat, high in protein, and relatively low in carbs. Unless I'm gonna train before then I'll have a carby meal. But typically I like starting my day with just a nice protein and fat meal. So this could be like some whole eggs and some veggies or something along those lines. That does really well for me. So if you're waking up, you're having a meal, and then you're just hungry all day long, making this slight tweak could make a huge difference in the hungers and the cravings that you're feeling throughout the day. I think you kind of set the frame for the day with the first meal that you have. So if you're waking up and having a sugary cereal for breakfast, you're probably gonna be craving junk the rest of the day. So really be conscious of what your first meal looks like, because this is gonna set the tone and the frame for the rest of the day. So those are the 3 points right there. Super simple. You can start implementing these right now to start leaning out. Again, guys, it comes down to being in a caloric deficit. There's no way around that. You have to do it, whether it's through expending more calories, eating less calories, or doing both. Someone's got to do it if you want to lose weight. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the little subscribe button down below, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Much love. We didn't contemplate. Rob the bank.